Greetings! It's me, your old, very ancient friend, the ghost hostess with the mostest, the Ghoulish gourmet herself, Ghoulia, child, here, come to share her favorite Halloween recipes with you just in time for the big day. I cannot tell you, possums, how absolutely happy I am that the good people from the Free Library in New Hope and Soulberry decided to dig me up this year. Now, possums, I know you've been hearing this a lot, that Halloween is going to be a little bit different this year because of this nasty coronavirus that's been going around and disrupting our lives, but not to worry, possums. Fun is where you make it, and I am here to bring the fun today with some disgustingly delightful recipes that you can make for your family this Halloween and have a hauntingly good dinner. I have a whole menu, and I will be joining you every afternoon this week at 3 p.m. with a new recipe to add to the menu. And we are going to start at the top tonight with an appetizer. And the appetizer, possums, are spider eggs. Oh, I know. It is just so delicious. You can't stand it. You're just screaming with joy. Are you? Oh, I should explain, possums, before you get a little upset about all this stuff. Now, Ghoulia understands that where I come from, the ingredients and the recipes that we use down there tend to be a little bit more, how shall we say, organic than what you're used to up here. So don't worry, possums, I have adapted all of these delicious recipes so that you can find the ingredients that you need in your local grocery store. No problem, possums. I know we have to be adaptable these days, do we not, possums? Yes, we do. So let's get started right away by making these delectable spider eggs. Now, possums, this is a low-budget production, so I'm filming myself, as you can see. I think I'm doing a rather good job for only having 2 hands, but I will try to do everything so that you can see it. The recipes are on our website at nhslibrary.org. Just go under the kids menu bar and you will find them right there, and you can replicate them at home, and I promise you these are so easy you'll just die. I hope not, but you will just die. So let's get started right away with our spider eggs. Now, primary ingredient in the spider eggs are going to be eggs. Yes. And what you will need are 6 eggs that have been hard-boiled. Now, there's a number of different ways to hard-boil eggs, possums. I leave that up to you. Once you hard-boil your eggs, you are going to have to peel them. And here I have a peeled egg, just as you can see. What we're going to do next is we are going to slice the egg in half, not like this, lengthwise. So when we slice it in half, you are going to see that there is a lovely little center to this. Oh, the lighting is rather bad here. There we go. You can see the yellow inside. That's called the yolk of the egg. The white is called the albumin. See, you learned something. Cooking is science. And what we're going to do with the albumin of the egg is we are going to take the little yolk part out. Try to keep the egg intact. Don't try to slice up the white part. That won't be good. We're going to go ahead, and you can use a knife, you can use a butter knife for this, you can use a spoon. Just get the center out. Get it all out, darlings. Now, of course, I've done this before and everything cooperates, but not this time. And we're going to do the other one. Sometimes these little darlings just kind of pop right out like so. Isn't that magnificent, darling? Now, as you can see, I've done a couple of these before, and I have a collection of the yolks of the eggs. These are all hard-boiled. To this, we are going to add some mayonnaise. Now, if you're making 6 or you're going to make 12 of these, you're going to need 2 tablespoons of mayonnaise. I'm doing half the recipe, so I'm only going to put 1 in. And I am also going to use a little bit of brown mustard. Don't use that nasty yellow stuff. You want to use the brown mustard because it is so much spicier. It gives it a little bit of a kick, don't you know? So here we are. I'm going to add a teaspoon of this. You can use a little bit less if you like. And we're going to put this aside. And since I'm mixing these, I'm just going to go ahead and help that in there. Then you're going to squish up the yellow part of the egg, that lovely, lovely, lovely yolks. Look at that. This is my favorite part of the whole thing, possums. Can you believe it? Get it all nice and smushy, just like so, as you can see. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take the half of the egg white with that little concave area out, and you are going to add the egg into it, just like so. There you are. Now, I have a feeling, possums, you've seen this before, and you have a wonderful name for it in your world. You call them deviled eggs. Oh, possums, that is just so fabulous. So you go ahead and you fill up the eggs like so. Don't worry if it's not perfectly neat, possums. Some people get very fancy with these things and use piping bags. You could do that too if you so choose. But for demonstrative purposes, Ghoulia is just going to keep them, how shall we say, plain. So here they are. You see my little eggs, they're all filled with the yolk. And that's the egg part. But wait, there's more. Ghoulia, you say, what are we going to do about the spiders? You said these were spider eggs. Of course I did, darlings. And here they come, the darling little spiders. And they are coming in the form of black olives. Now, possums, you can get these at your grocery store. And what you're going to do is we're going to fish out 2 of these. I'm going to put them on the table so you can see what I'm going to do. Put the can aside. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut the olive in half, short side, not lengthwise like you did the eggs. And there you have it. You see that little piece? You are going to stick it right in the center of the egg, like so. And then, possums, with the remainder, now you might have to use more than 1 olive, and this is true, you are going to slice the halves and then cut them again in half. And you are going to carefully place these little darlings, 4 on each side of the center. And wait till you see this. You will just die with fright. I do know some people are afraid. They have something called arachnophobia. Have you ever heard of such a thing, darlings? Well, let it never be said that Ghoulia is not about education. The name Arachne actually comes from a Greek myth, where once upon a time there was a young woman whose name was Arachne, and Arachne liked to weave. In fact, she said she was the greatest weaver in the whole world, bar none. And the goddess Athena, who also happened to be a master at the craft, overheard this, and she decided that she needed to teach Arachne a lesson. So they had a weaving contest, which naturally, being a goddess, Athena won. And Arachne was waiting for the wrath of Athena to impale all sorts of horrors on her. But Athena took pity on the poor girl. So what she did was she turned her into something that would do nothing but weave all day long, and that was a spider. And to this day, we sometimes refer to spiders as arachnids. And speaking of arachnids, here we have it. Isn't that divine? You can see, I'll move it up here, hopefully it won't fall off. Look at the spider on the egg. Oh, and possums, I can promise you, it tastes as delicious as it looks. Well, you get the idea. That is our first course for tonight. I hope you've enjoyed learning all about cooking with Ghoulia, and I hope you will join me tomorrow night when we move into the main course. Until then, possums, bon appetit.